Let's do a quick walkthrough of the current functionality of the game. So the player comes in, select the number of players, they hit start, and immediately the cards are dealt, and we turn over the first card in each one of the players' hands, and we'll also compare them to find the winner that's available there. So we want to have the ability to launch multiple attacks and to launch another attack. So let's set that up within this round, where we are listening for the button click, and if the value of the button is attack, that means that we want to run another make cards. So try that out, and we hit start, and if we do that again, we see that we remake the cards. So there's a few things that we do need to do in order to accommodate this, and one of them is we need to clear out the current existing card when we come in to make the next round. So that's one of the things that we need to handle when we are making the cards. So going into the make cards function, we need to clear out the existing content from each one of the players as we iterate through. So we can do that here as we start the loop. So taking the player's object, indicating the index value, and setting the inner HTML, and we can just clear that out. So just have a blank inner HTML. So start, attack, and we can see that now we're able to play the game, and as we continuously press attack, then we get the next round, and all of the winners then get the attack cards added to their hand, and we can continuously play through and have multiple attacks. So what if we also want to launch multiple attacks, and eventually some of these players are going to run out of cards, and then we can set them as lost. So we need to handle that as well, and this is one of the game win conditions that we're going to do near the end of the lessons. So in this case, we want to get the value that's contained within the input and use that value in order to calculate how many runs we have. So we can call this temp runs, and using the document query selector, let's select the value of the input. And this is going to tell us how many rounds we want to play. Let's also update our RS inner HTML. So this is where we were outputting who won and all of the round information. So that's sitting down there below. So we want to clear that out each time as well. And let's set our round to equal to 0. And I'm going to set a few different variables here. So one of the variables that we need as a global variable is we need to set up a variable for round so we can update it and we know how many rounds have been played, as well as another variable for in play. And we can use this variable to control the gameplay, so we can stop it and start it by checking the in-play value. So going into our card listing where we're making the card. So first, let's check to see if in play is true. And if it is, then this is where we're going to launch the make cards. And we're also going to loop it multiple times. So we can use just a regular for loop, setting x to 0 and looping while temp runs is less than, while x is less than temp runs. And then what we'll do is we'll decrease the value of temp runs as we iterate through. So let's indent this content so it's easier to read. So we're checking to see if the value of in play is true. So this gives us the ability to control it. And also in the message area, let's update the inner HTML. So we've got new content there, and we know how many rounds that we've actually gone through. So we'll do the round and x plus 1. And as we loop through here, this round value will continuously increase as well. And then what we'll do is we'll just make the cards each time. So let's try that. So now we start the game, and we've got the 1 attack. And we can update this to 2 attacks. And also we want to make sure that we're setting the in play to be true when we start the game. So in start game function, I want to set this value to be true so that we have our game functionality and our game control Boolean value. Let's try that one more time. So we hit attack again, we hit attack again. Let's try 3 rounds. And you can see that we've got the 3 rounds played. So player 3 won 3 cards, player 2 won 3 cards, player 3 won 3 cards. So we see that the count of the cards is changing. Let's try doing 5 rounds. And we can see at the end of the 5 rounds, player 2 has 20, player 3 has 20, and player 1 has 12. And also notice as well that we've got player 2 winning, even though this is a tie. So that's one thing that we do need to handle. We need to handle that in one of the upcoming lessons in order to handle what we're happening here and how we can break the tie. So what we have to do is keep flipping cards until either one runs out of cards or one of them gets a higher card than the other. So that's the next thing that we do in the next lesson. So go ahead and add in the Boolean controller for running the game, also listening for the attack button to be clicked, and then giving us an option to run multiple rounds of the game.